Good morning guys. Today we will study automatic combustion control system. What is automatic combustion control system? It basically consists three major elements: a steam flow sensor, a steam pressure sensor, a fuel flow sensor, and a airflow sensor. A steam flow sensor which measures the flow rate of steam in the boiler, and the fuel flow sensor is basically sense the fuel flow that is used in the boiler, and the airflow sensor is basically use the flow of air coming from the dampers in the boiler. So here what we and there are two controller basically used in the, that is a fuel flow controller and airflow controller. The fuel flow controller which regulates the opening and closing of the fuel valves like HNV, LOTV, and airflow controller which regulates the airflow by opening and closing of the dampers. The steam pressure and the flow signals are transmitted to a computing relay, and that computing relay generates a master signal. If the master signal is less than low signal selector, then master signal present as a fuel requirement to the boiler. This master signal, okay, the master signal is fed as a set value to the low and high signal selector. When in the low signal selector, the master signal is compared with the signal representing the airflow. Here master signal represent as a airflow. The selector passes the master signal only if it is lower, and in high signal selector the master signal is compared with the signal representing the fuel flow. Here master signal represent as a fuel flow signal. The selector passes the master signal only if it is higher. Okay, so when the steam demand is high signal selector passes the master signal to airflow controller. Airflow controller then give the signal to the damper positioner. By adjusting the damper position, it control the airflow, increase the airflow by increasing the damper, and then airflow increase the airflow sensor transmit the signal to the low signal selector and the airflow controller. Then low signal selector gives signal to the fuel flow controller, and the fuel flow controller increases the fuel flow by adjusting the fuel flow valve position. Okay, now after that, what happened? If demand is low, the low signal permit the master signal to pass to the fuel flow controller. Okay, so the fuel flow controller decreases the flow of fuel by adjusting the fuel valve. So fuel flow sensor give the transmit the signal to the high signal selector and the fuel flow controller. Then the high signal selector gives signal to the airflow controller. Airflow controller close the dampers according to the requirement of the system. So in that way we can control the automatic system, automatic combustion control. The control system basically can maintain two things: airflow ratio, prevent incomplete combustion of fuel with changing the and